like, especially those, you know, whether you're working at home or out in the community, it is what I like to do is try to have meals, good meals done, but something that doesn't take a long time, because all of our time is precious. We got all sorts of activities and stuff like that, and we want to make sure we get done at a good time, okay? So what I've done, I'm gonna go ahead on and wash my vegetables. I got 1 pint of the cherry tomatoes, and you may not need all of them, depending on your size or family. And I got 2 nice size zucchini, okay? So I'm working with this is a chef knife. You can use whatever knife that you would like. I just found working at this with students, the chef knives is very versatile. And they cut very well and get, you know, you want something that's gonna get the job done. Okay, so the best thing, especially when you're cooking, the things that gotta go in the oven, we'll put that in the oven and then we can start the meat. So we want everything kind of done right at the same time. While the turkey burgers are going and finishing off, we'll go ahead on and get our desserts done so we can have everything time. And you guys have to keep me on track with the time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice my zucchini. I'm gonna take the end parts off here. Now, the one thing about zucchini is very inexpensive, very versatile, beautiful color, but also with the zucchini, it's bland. Of course, you have to add a lot of, add some flavor to it. That's what we're gonna do with the garlic and the seasonings. But you want to make sure that you slice all of your zucchini pretty much the same way. Why? So it'll cook evenly for you. So I call this kind of like the claw technique. So I'm kind of have my choke down on my blade. As you can see how I got my knife set. So can everybody see my hands?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm just going to make nice round cuts here with my knife. Now, I'm going to clear my cutting board. Oh, one fell in the floor. I'm going to clear my cutting board and then continue. Okay. Now, of course, you can add yellow squash as well to this. Tomatoes, green peppers. So this is a dish that you can add whatever you would like, whatever's readily available. Right now, of course, zucchini is still out, even though we're getting towards the end of the summer, and it's still out. Now, if you want, there's nice round circles here. If you want, you can, let's say you want to make these a little smaller, you can cut them in like 4s here and have little small pieces like that as well, okay? And I'll just kind of toss those in as well, okay? Any questions so far? Is anybody cooking along with me?
Yes, I'm cooking.
Okay.
Many of us are getting a thumbs up from Kelly.
Okay, great. Okay.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead on and get this last one chopped up. Everything's trying to run away on me. So, and it's good, you know, right now with a lot of people are still not eating out as much. If you notice, one thing that we don't have a lot in Alamance County, we don't have a whole lot of places where you can get a lot of fresh vegetables already cooked, meals already prepared that's not have a lot of processing in them. So it's kind of good to cook some meals at home when you can. And it's therapeutic. After a long day, it's good to kind of get in the kitchen with your family, by yourself, and just enjoy cooking. I think sometimes people are afraid of the kitchen, but can't be afraid. Okay. All right. So we got the zucchini. As you can see, it makes a two. One was kind of large size, but the other one's medium. But you see, it makes a good amount of zucchini. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead on. I've already rinsed my cherry tomatoes. These are very sweet, as well as a good flavor. Of course, you can eat them raw. You can eat the zucchini raw. So you can take the same salad and maybe add a little onion, fresh red onion, some really minced garlic, and make a cold salad as well. So you don't necessarily have to bake this. Okay, we're gonna half these. Okay, I'm gonna do about half the package. As you can see, it really helps to have a nice sharp knife. You don't want to saw. If you got a dull knife and you have to start sawing at it like this, that's how you can get it cut. Okay. Now, if these are too large, you can also cut these in quarters as well. A few more. Okay, now, so I got about half of them cut. Okay, now to this, you can be as liberal as you want or conservative with your garlic. Some people like garlic, some people don't like it. You can leave it out. The biggest thing is that you want to make sure you mince it, and mincing means to cut it down or chop it down to the smallest pieces you can get. Why? Because nobody wants to bite into a big piece of garlic because it kind of takes all the, that's all you taste is garlic, and you can't really enjoy the rest of your meal. Okay, so we're gonna take the edge of our knife here, kind of break up some. I'm gonna use one bowl here. Okay, now I'm gonna take my paring knife because it's a little bit easier for me to work with, and I'm just gonna peel the outer layer off of the garlic clove. Okay, can everybody kind of see that? So it exposes the flesh. Okay. You can also take your thumb as well and kind of peel the outer edge. Okay, sometimes you need your knife just to kind of help it along there. Okay, any questions so far?
I think so.
Huh?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If anybody has questions along the way, this is Megan. I'm happy to help. If you want to type it in the chat button. I can always relay it to Tiffany too.
Okay. Okay, so I have my paring knife. I got my garlic all peeled. Now I'm just gonna clean off the back of the cutting board here. Okay, now you can take a paring knife or a chef's knife or whatever knife you got, and I'm going to do the same type of technique, but what I'm going to do is just make small cuts. Okay, very small cuts. Okay, just almost lightly peeling it. That's going to allow me to get the flavor, but I'm controlling how big these pieces are. I don't want big cubes. Okay. With garlic, you don't want to overdo it. You want to add flavor. You want to impact the dish, but you don't want to, gnaw down on large pieces. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to turn it because now I get to the edge. I'm real close to my finger. What I'm going to do is get to the edge here and just kind of slice these small pieces. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to just I'm going to kind of gather it up together. And then what I'm going to do is take my knife and then just kind of start chopping it. Okay? Just started chopping it. Now, some people have little hand choppers. That'll work as well. Okay, so I'm making sure I'm real sturdy on my knife, holding my knife very securely. So, okay, and then I kind of gather it up and then just run it again. Okay, getting those small pieces. And you can already smell it. You know, garlic has a distinctive smell, but it adds so much flavor to your dishes, okay? So as you can see, the more I run my knife through, and then I'm cleaning off the edge of the knife, bringing it back in, okay? And then running it again, okay? Everybody see it? Good. Okay. Okay, all right, now, as you can see, nice fine pieces, okay? That's what we want. Okay, we just want to add that to our dish. Clean off the knife here, okay? Okay, now, to this, it says combine the tomatoes. We got our tomatoes in, our zucchini, our garlic. We want to drizzle with a little bit of olive oil. This is extra virgin olive oil. I like Harris Teeter brand. Food Line has a good brand as well. You want to get a good olive oil. It holds up the heat. Of course, we don't deep fry in olive oil, but we can saute, meaning we can use a little bit to cook our vegetables in, dishes. Great for, of course, salad dressing if you just want to add a little bit of oil, and it's good for you. It's not, it's a very good oil as well. So what we're gonna do, I got my little pepper grinder here, and I have sea salt. You can use any type of salt that you like, but I like sea salt. So I'm gonna drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil. Okay. You want to coat it, but you don't want to soak it in olive oil. You just want enough to coat your vegetables. So make sure all of them get a nice coating. If you see where it's not coated good, it should have a nice shine to it. And add a little bit more. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, I'm gonna add just a tad bit more. Okay. All right, now to this, I'm gonna add some fresh cracked black pepper. I love these little grinders. Okay. And sea salt. You want your food seasoned, don't over season. You don't want it salty, of course, but you want to add flavor, and a little salt is quite all right in adding flavor to your dishes, okay? Now, I'm gonna stir that up again, okay? Because sometimes you got some of these big pieces have not been coated with seasoning, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. And believe me, this is a good holiday dish too as well. Nice holiday flavor. Okay, a little bit more salt. Okay, and now we're ready for our baking dish. Now, you can, I'm gonna lightly spray. Now I'm gonna use a shallow, kind of like pot pan. You can use a baking dish, anything that you like. I am gonna hit it with just a little bit of cooking spray. If you don't have cooking spray, just take a little bit of your oil with a paper towel and smooth it around. Now, if you have time, you can make it almost like a pie. You can kind of go around like this. Everybody see this? I'm sorry, I just keep saying that because I can't see you. I'm used to talking to students. Okay, everybody see this?
Yeah.
Okay, now you can do this in however pan that you want. Okay, and then nice and pretty. Now, if you're got kids and you got clothes to get out of the dryer and wash during the week, and it's just your family, you can dump it all in the pan. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a little outer layer here, Just kind of nice and neat. And then I'm just gonna dump the rest of it. Just place the rest of it over in the pan. Now the tomatoes are kind of settled at the bottom. So what I'm doing is just take my hand here. Make sure you get that garlic, because sometimes that garlic will kind of settle at the bottom once you put that oil in there. And then here, I'm just gonna place my tomatoes so that when you're serving this, everybody gets a little bit of everything. The tomatoes, the zucchini. So I'm gonna place those up at the top, okay? All right, now, so we're ready for the oven. Let's get the hands off here. Okay, and this is ready for the oven. Any questions before we put this in the oven?
I like that pan.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna put this in the oven. This is gonna go in and put it on the bottom rack. And that's gonna go for about 30 minutes. So it should, everything should be ready. We're gonna get our basil out and our Parmesan cheese to kind of garnish that when it comes out and make it really nice and pretty. Okay, now we're gonna get started on our turkey burgers, okay? All right, if you heard the doorbell, that's my son's crew. He has about 3 or 4 kids that come to the house every day to play. So sorry about that. Okay, so I'm gonna get my skillet going right quick, and for the turkey burger. Now you want to have your oven. Everybody knows their own stove, so you want to have it about medium to high heat. Okay, so with your burgers. Okay, all right. Now I'm using. You can use ground turkey. Jenny-O makes a good kind. I'm using the already made patties from Butterball, okay? I like these because they're already portioned out. If I'm gonna take these to work, if I'm gonna eat them for dinner, everybody have their own portion. I don't have to worry about making up the patties, okay? So I'm gonna spray my pan with a little cooking spray, okay? And let me get a plate here, okay? Get my plate here and lay out my patties. As you can see, they do a good job with laying them out. They're very lean. What I found when I was kind of running through this recipe last week was that they were very juicy. I thought they might be a little dry, but I didn't. I cooked them to 165. I'm going to show you about the measuring of temperature and also how to check it whether or not. You don't want to, poultry is something that you want to make sure that you cook done, okay? You do not want to undercook poultry. Okay, this one kind of fell apart there. I'll kind of fix him, put him back together. Okay. All right, here. All right, now I'm going to set this over in the trash, and then I'm going to wash my hands. Good, all of these are. Wash my hand up. You want to be careful that you wash your hands because you just touched the patties, and then I'm about to touch the salt and pepper. I don't want to cross-contaminate and put those my hands on those burgers. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my fan on just on low a little bit here. So you have 4 nice sized patties. I'm gonna take my pepper. Now you can use any type of seasoning. A lot of people like the McCormick's Grill Mate seasoning, especially if you're gonna throw these on the grill. Just be mindful if you put some type of sweet seasoning or barbecue or something. Be careful about that because the outside will burn and char a little bit more before it's done. So I'm gonna lightly season it and then I'm gonna brush it. Since I have the patties, I'm gonna brush it with the Worcestershire sauce rather than mixing it in and then like, you can do it however way you want to. If you wanna mix the seasoning in and then come back and remold the patties, you can, but for the sake of time, we're just gonna do it that way, okay? Now, I don't wanna put too much oil. I already have some oil in the pan, so I'm gonna bring these over. You can add a little, to the ground meat, you can add some olive oil to the meat prior to mixing it up. But because I've already sprayed the pan, that's enough oil that I have. So this pan is getting hot. Okay? And then what I'm gonna do, you hear the sizzle? That's what I want. Okay? Now I'm laying the seasoned side down. Okay? I'm laying the seasoned side down and wash my hands. Especially if you got your kids helping you in the kitchen, make sure that they keep their hands washed in between so we don't transfer germs. So I got the seasoned side down. I'm gonna slide the camera over just to, can everybody see the stove? But I need to be a little closer.
We can see it pretty well.
Okay, I'm gonna bring it over so you can kind of see it once I get the char mark. While that's going, on the side, I'm gonna go ahead on and season the opposite side while they're in the pan. Okay, it's all here. Now, all right, now, I don't want to start flipping these yet. What I want to do is I want to make sure I get a nice crust on the outside of those burgers. So what I'm doing is letting it go. A lot of times people start flipping them, and that's how they'll start falling apart on you. You want to keep your meat intact, okay? All right, while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead on and pour just a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in the bowl here, and I'm going to brush that. If you don't have this is a silicone brush. If you don't have that, you can just use a spoon. Okay, it's wet. Okay. All right. Now, while those are going, this is looking great, and it's smelling great. It's great. It's always good to have some good smelling food going on in your kitchen. Okay. Anybody have trouble finding peaches?
Got plenty of them.
Huh?
Plenty. Food line.
Something I said. Yeah, this morning I went to Food Lion. They didn't have any, but of course Harris Teeter has never let me down. So I have the peaches here. I'm gonna go ahead on and get those ready. I'm gonna wash the outside of those. Okay, now let's take a look at our burgers. Let me grab my spatula here. Okay. I'm gonna bring the pan over so you can kind of see. Okay. Now, this is a very lean meat, but you see the nice crust on the back of that? Can we see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's what you want. You want that because that's gonna help to infuse flavor into your meat. Okay? Okay, we'll do that. Now, they'll build up on the side here, some of that from the liquid. You just kind of brush that off, okay, into the pan, and you can remove that later. It's just, okay. Okay, great. So we're going to just continue to let those go. Now, what we're going to do, now we're going to get a good sear on the opposite side, and then I'm going to turn the pan down and kind of let them just go. Then right at the end, I can go ahead on now brush this with my Worcestershire, okay? And then when I flip them one more time, I'll brush the opposite side with the Worcestershire sauce as well. Okay. All right, let me get cleaned up here, and then we're going to start working on our peaches. Question: do you want me to grill the peaches on the grill outside, on the or you want me to show you in the house?
You can do either. I think I'm getting some votes for inside. I have a
okay
up outside. If you can just maybe speak to the grill part of it while you're doing the inside thing. Stay right where you are.
Okay, great. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just get the peaches ready to go for, okay. And they taste just as good. Let me switch my recipes here. A lot going on. Okay. All right, so grilled peaches and granola. The first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna wash the outside of my peaches, and I'm gonna get my little knife here. Okay. Now, I'm gonna take the paper off. These are Eastern peaches. I'm gonna peel. Now, some people like the skin, some people don't, but I'm gonna peel it. I'm gonna peel the outside of the peaches as well. You can leave the skin on if you would like, but I'm gonna pare the outside. I'm just gonna take that thin layer, as you can see, off the outside of the peaches.
Tiffanie, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So, is there rationale to where you put stuff in the oven? Like, I'm sure if you want to broil it, you put it on the top, but like the middle or the bottom, is there a difference?
No, it all depends. Like if I'm doing a, you know, I try to use the second to the bottom rack on most of my cooking. If you need something done pretty quick, put it on the bottom. But if you're doing something like a roast, I want that low and slow. So I would put that in the middle. Okay, because I want to control the heat as much as I can, and I don't want the bottom of whatever I'm cooking to burn.
Now.
All right, does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so I got my first one done, and let me pause to smell my burger. So let me pause and get a little warm. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the heat down just a little bit. Let me get my spatula. Now, one thing about turkey burgers, they don't take that long to cook, okay? All right. Now we'll hit them again with the Worcestershire, okay? Now I'm gonna turn my pan down. I'm gonna turn this down on low. So to continue to cook, but I don't wanna burn my burgers. They almost got away from me just a little bit. So you wanna keep an eye on your burgers, especially if you're in there, if you're in the kitchen by yourself. I'm gonna get another cutting board out so I can slice the peaches. And I'm gonna finish peeling my peach here. Now, of course, Those of us that are mothers, I have a 4-year-old and he's asleep right now, but he'll be wide open in the next 30 minutes. So, okay. All right, so I got my peaches done. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna slice the peach. Now, of course, you got a pit in there. So I'm just gonna make, especially if you are doing these for your family, you're doing it, you wanna make a good presentation. I'm just gonna kind of slice like small little pieces here, okay? Now I feel the pit here. You can see there's the pit there. Come here and come here. Now this one is pretty right now. You can continue to use the whole peach, okay? Now, if I was making like a peach pie or something, I would do that a little bit differently. Let me move these peaches out the way, okay? I want, this is the presentation that I may particularly want. You take these off, they're burned. Okay. Here, if I want to do it a different way, then I know the pit is in the middle. Okay. I'm just going around with my knife. You're kind of segmenting this. Okay. And really let the pit be your guide, because you can feel the pit. Your knife is going to come up on the pit. Okay. And then, as you can see, I'm taking the knife and then just sliding it out, okay? Sliding it out, okay? Same thing here. Okay. I'm going right up against that pit. Okay, and they kind of easily, almost just, they just kind of like just peel off, okay?
Tiffanie, if we're putting them on the grill, do we just go in half?
Ma'am, yes, if you're doing the grill, just doing it half, because now I have my grill, I have electric, a gas grill, but it has a flat part, so I could do it on here, but if you have a grate that's wide, then you need to do the halves of the peaches as well. So then you could cut the whole thing in half and have 2 halves, garnish it with your olive oil, and then grill it that way. Absolutely.
Perfect.
Because you don't want to be fighting peaches in your grill. Okay? All right, so great. I'm going to take these pieces here. Oops, away from them as well. Okay? All right, now I'm going to measure. Now, if you don't have, and checking the temperature of poultry, you can kind of check for doneness by using your hand. A lot of times people will cut into the meat. When you do that, the moisture and the juices just run out. Well, that's what makes your meat cardboard. And then by the time you get ready to serve it, it doesn't taste like anything. Okay, so here, it's really firm. You see how firm it is? It doesn't spring back on. Everybody see that? Okay, so I want it's nice and firm. That lets me know the meat is done. Okay. All right, now if you don't have a thermometer, that's a good way of checking it without cutting into the meat. Okay. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is take it out. I'm going to use my son's T-Rex plate. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to show you how to measure the temperature. Now I have a Taylor, I think I got this at Kohl's, digital thermometer here. I want to stick the thermometer in the thickest part of the meat. and I'm looking for a temperature of 165. Now it might go down a little bit because I'm transferring it, but if it's done, it's going to go up to 165. Okay. Now I want it to go at least to 165 and hold there for 15 seconds. That lets me know that my burgers are done. Okay. So right now it's holding steady at about 177. Okay. It's counting kind of like a mental clock in your head. Okay. So then that lets me know that the burgers are done. So you can do the kind of like the feel technique. A lot of times you'll see people do that on the grill. Okay. All right. So nice grill burgers. And these are great because you can use these. Okay. All right. How do they look?
They look great.
Okay, great. Now, if you want, you can add cheese, like a smoked Gouda, Havarti, cheddar on these if you would like. If not, if you want to keep it, and then I will hit it right at the end with a little bit more of that Worcestershire. If you want barbecue, teriyaki, anything like that, all you're doing is adding extra flavor to it. It's quite all right. Just be mindful. You don't want to soak it in Worcestershire or soy sauce because those things are salty. You don't want to have salty food. Let me go get my other skillet over here and we'll be ready for our grilled peaches. How am I doing on time?
It is 6:44.
Oh, good. We're great. We're great. We're great. We're ready to plate it up. Okay. So as this pan is getting warm here, what we're going to do, and you're going to do the same technique if you're doing on the grill as far as coating your peaches. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil. Now you can use a bowl here. I'm just going to slide these in the bowl. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit. I can get it out without. Okay, great. Take it. Get a spoon here. And I'm going to coat it with the olive oil. Now, you want to get a good mark on it. You don't want to use melted butter because of the high fat content in the butter. It will burn, okay, especially on the grill. So that's why you want to use something that's going to withstand some heat, protect your peaches. You want that kind of charred flavor, but you don't want it burnt, okay? Okay, so now these are coated. I'm not going to use, I might just use a bit more.
If you did them in halves, then you coat both sides, the center and the outside.
Yeah, yes, And then I would place those because you know your grill is good and hot. You want to put it on the kind of like the cooler side of your grill. And because peaches don't take that long, you don't want to burn them up. And with a pair of tongs. Okay, so I can, this pan is just good and hot, regular cast iron. I mean, not cast iron, regular metal pan here. Okay, that nice sizzle. Okay. Just gonna place them right in the pan. The pan has no, I didn't spray the pan because I want to get that nice char mark on it. So I don't want to coat it too much with oil. Okay. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna let that go for just a minute while we're doing that. I got this granola. It's gluten-free, vanilla almond. I got it at Harris Teeter. No particular reason other than it was on sale, which is always good. So I got my granola here. Get that ready. Okay. Now, oh wow, these look good. Looks good. Is everybody checking on their zucchini?
Just put them on there.
Okay, now, as these are going, okay, I'm gonna just flip them over. Okay, now I'm not gonna get the grill marks, but I am getting a char mark. That's what I want, okay? Now, if I was doing these on the grill, I would have the grill marks instead, but the same method. I'm just using a fork because I don't want to tear up my peaches because that's not gonna give me the presentation that I want. Okay, so I'm just taking my fork here. If the pan's a little bit too hot, just use a pair of tongs as well. So I can take the tongs, flip it over like this, okay? If I can grab it, okay, there we go. Same thing here, just sliding it. Nice char mark, okay? Nice char mark. Now, I don't need to do any more thing else. I'm just gonna go ahead on and set that off to the side because the pan is so hot, it's gonna continue to char on the opposite side. You don't want to cook them. You're not making, applesauce. You just want to put a nice char on them, and that's it. So you don't want to walk away. If you're putting these on the grill, you don't want to walk away from them because they'll burn up. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna grab my zucchini bake out of the oven. Good boy. Oh wow. Oh, it smells delicious. Okay, so the zucchini is done. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, now how do I want to know it's done? Grab me a fork here. They're nice and tender. See how nice they go? Like stick a fork in me, I'm done. See how nice and tender they are? Everybody see that? I can stick my fork in. I know they're done. Okay, everybody got that? All right. I'm sorry, if I sound like a teacher, that's because I am. So I'm checking for understanding when I'm doing that with my students. Okay, so here, you want to get a good Parmesan cheese. None of that stuff out of the can if you can help it. You can also have this Parmesan cheese salad, omelets, stuff like that. So here, you don't need you can take it out. This nice Parmesan cheese, just kind of drizzle it over the top. Okay, drizzle it over the top there. Okay, remember, once again, Parmesan cheese is salty, so I control the salt by not putting a whole lot when I bake it. Okay, and let me get my basil. Some organic basil here. You do not have to use basil. You can rough chop it, or you can just kind of twist it like so, okay? And kind of garnish it on top, okay? The basil, little pieces here. It's almost like a pizza. Okay, that the basil is just going to give it a nice earthy texture to it. It's just going to set it off, and it's going to just marry well with that Parmesan cheese. Okay. Okay, so we're going to plate this up. The fun part. So here we're going to get one of our turkey burgers. Okay. Here. Remember, this pan is hot, so be careful as you pick it up. Take my serving spoon here. You want to make sure you get underneath it good. Okay, so everybody can get some of that. It almost, I mean, it smells like a pizza, okay? Like a veggie pizza. Okay, here, get a little bit more tomatoes. And of course, you can never have enough cheese. Okay, as well. Okay, so that's our tomato bake and grilled turkey burger. Okay, quick, easy, very nutritious. Now we're gonna plate up our dessert. I'm gonna take my peaches, my nice little bowl here. Now you can use whatever yogurt. I wouldn't use a flavored yogurt like a strawberry. I got a couple here. I got a True Blend Fage vanilla Greek yogurt, and then I think of the CG's. This is another one, peach. Okay, so you can get any kind that you want. I typically just get whatever's on there. Okay, so here I'm gonna take my peaches. As you can see, look at the nice caramelization. That's the nice char on the back of those peaches. Okay. So here, got my peaches here. Put them down in my bowl. Okay. Now you can take this same dessert and these same grilled peaches and add them to, take some pie crust, add them to grill the peaches before you put them in a pie. You can do whatever you would like. I'm gonna use the vanilla here. Okay, now you know that your peaches are nice and warm. Now you can cool them down. If I'm gonna serve these as a dessert, I got company coming over, you could go ahead on and grill them, set them to the side, let them come down to room temperature, and then that way your yogurt will hold up, okay? But a Greek yogurt is pretty thick. Got a little bit of yogurt on the side there. So here, got my yogurt and my granola. So what I'm gonna do, get my spoon out. And then I'm just gonna garnish it with the granola. Okay. And this actually has some sunflower seeds in it, which is really neat. Okay, so now you have your dessert as well. Okay, your grilled peaches with your vanilla yogurt and granola, and then your tomato bake. Good. How? So, those of y'all that's, anybody still cooking? How's my time?
Perfect. We got
Perfect.
thumbs up coming for the kids too. It's good.
Man, I can't hear you.
But it's good.
Okay, good, good, good. Any questions?
This person just says, that looks amazing. Thank you for sharing the recipes ahead of time.
Good.
That I learned to use the grill for the first time by myself.
Yeah, and don't be afraid. It's just really trying. If you burn them up, okay, try again. You know, so, and that's the one thing about cooking. One thing I like about baking, if you can control your seasonings and things like that, baking is a lot easier because, you know, you just set it and forget it. You let it go, you start working on your other things that you have to get done, and then you have dinner done within an hour and lunch for the next day, okay? Also, these are very inexpensive meals. So you think the whole, the zucchini, $1.19 a pound, tomatoes, $1.89. 4 turkey burgers were only $2.99 at Food Lion. The peaches were 99 cents a piece. Probably the most expensive thing, of course, is your Parmesan cheese, but you want a good Parmesan cheese. and that was $3.99. So this is a great meal for 4 under $20.
Great. Anybody have questions? All right.
Yeah, can we do this every week?
Well, we'll see. I'm just glad my son is asleep. And because he is asleep, he will be up till about 12 o'clock tonight.
Uh-oh.
I know, I need to wake him up. but
That's a bummer.
But I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. I enjoy cooking. Work in the school system, teaching culinary. With everything going on right now, it's kind of great to get back in the kitchen. I'm excited to work with my students and cook with them too.
That's fun. And to everybody here, this is Megan from Wellness, in case you're wondering, other person is that keeps talking. We do have some more cooking classes. We have another person, I think, too, that's going to come into the rotation. Maybe Jasmine, I know, is setting that up and figuring things out. So, yes, awesome. Thank you.
Okay. All right. If not any more questions, you guys have a great night, and thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope we can do this again next time.
Awesome.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, thank you. You all have a wonderful evening.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Tiffany.